I don't even know how to play this thing. Anyway, welcome back to the workshop. For today's project, we're going to be doing some repair work on this old banjo. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Stick around and check it out. The first thing we're going to need to do for this banjo is replace the tuning pegs. As you can see, one of these is completely broken off and it's just gone. And the others aren't in great shape either. We're just going to swap those out for brand new ones. The other thing that's wrong with this banjo is that years ago the neck was broken off and it's been kind of re-glued back up, but they didn't do a very good job. I'm going to take it all apart and see if we can't do something to clean up that glue joint. The first thing to do for this is to get it all broke down and get the strings off it. Take it all apart and really see what we're working with here. Now, I don't know what this banjo is or even how old it is. It has a sticker on the back of the headstock that says Made in Japan, and that's all I've got to go on. I don't think it was very valuable even when it was new, but that's alright. There's plenty of good playing life left in this thing. We just need to fix it up a bit. You know, apart from a little dirt and corrosion, the inside of this actually doesn't look too bad. Not so sure about this neck joint though. That's going to be a problem. So the next thing to do with this is replace the tuning pegs. Now for the fifth string, I'm just going to leave the old one in. There's nothing wrong with it, it works just fine. I'd probably do more harm than good trying to swap that out, so that one can stay right where it is. Up here in the main headstock though, these four are going to all be replaced. Now these aren't the best tuning pegs in the world. These are Stuart McDonald's budget brand, but they're a hell of a lot better than what was in here. The only problem is these fit with these inserts, kind of like that, and the inserts are a fair bit bigger than the holes we've already got. So before we can put these in, these holes need to be widened out a little bit. Now our tuning peg inserts measure out to exactly 10 millimeter, which I know is just a hair over 3/8 of an inch. I've got a 3/8 drill bit here, and I think a 3/8 hole is going to set these up so they're a good snug press fit. I think that's exactly what we want. The next thing to do for this is to drill new screw holes in the back so that we can mount up the tuning keys. Unfortunately, the hole placement for these tuning keys is exactly backwards from the originals. So these are going to need new holes, and unfortunately there's going to be some holes left in the back of this. We may fill those in with something later, but for right now it's just going to stay the way it is. I don't have a really good way of lining these up. We're just going to kind of gauge it off of the existing holes, and I'm going to pinprick where my screws need to go. Now I can't seem to find a drill bit small enough to drill these screw holes, but this wood is fairly soft. I don't know what it's made of. It kind of looks like mahogany, but it's dead soft. So I'm going to try and poke my pilot holes with the tip of this sharp scribe. They don't really need much. Screws are only going into this wood about 3/16 of an inch. I can get most of that with this. Okay, for reasons I really don't understand, this screw here is all chewed up, and it was all buried in this neck and covered up with what I believe to be car bondo. Never seen that before. Now, a lot of what's wrong with this banjo is cosmetic. If we consider it in its playing condition, isn't actually that bad. But we get, like, all around the rim, there's all this kind of brownish red stuff, and I don't know what that is. If that's old paint or varnish or spilled beer, for all I know it's dried blood. But it looks like crap. I'm going to try and carefully scrape it off as best I can. At least whatever this stuff is, it comes off pretty easy. The next thing to do is take the pan here, and we're going to get this all broken down and taken apart, and this is all going to get cleaned up. Alright, here we go. See, this banjo is just filthy. I think it may have been left outdoors. I think this might be bird poop. But that's alright. We're going to get this all cleaned up. The head ring here is all covered in this pitting and brown corrosion and stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and hit this with the brass wire wheel. That'll take care of it. This thing is just all crusted in with dirt. This banjo was held together with like a 1.5 inch wood deck screw. It's bent. So it turns out this neck joint was all stuffed full of what I believe was car body Bondo. It turns out once you get down in here, there's actually very little glue, if any, holding this together. We can see that this paint scraper pretty much goes all the way down. There's like no glue in this joint at all, except on this corner. I think if we carefully kind of work this down, we might be able to just pop this free without doing too much damage to it. Aha! I see what they did there. Okay, we've learned something today. This repair wasn't really even glued at all. It was put together with 4 wooden dowel rods and then bondoed around the outside. There is some glue on the dowel rods, and that was probably relatively strong. There's a good chance that this neck was plenty safe to play. But now that we've got it all apart, now we can fix it better. Okay, so our new heel block is all glued up. And actually, just as it is right now, the fit's pretty good. I was going to sand this all up in here and blend this in. But the trouble with doing that is you're never going to match the original neck finish. At that point, you can either sand down and refinish the whole neck, which I really don't want to do. Or maybe we can just stain this and let it go. And just leave it just the way it is. You're always going to see this line here. It's not going to be a real good blend-in job, but it's not a real good banjo. As long as we can get it back up into playing shape so that it works, that's all I care about. I am going to try and refine this shape just a little bit. Hopefully I don't cut into the finish on the original neck. I think the trick to this sort of work is to just go really slow and be really careful. Alright, well, honestly, that really didn't come out all that good. But, like I've said before, I'm not a professional music instrument repairer. And even among people who are professional musical instrument repairers, refinishing is like the hardest part. Anybody can saw and drill and glue, but getting a good finish is tough. But anyway, that's probably about as good as that's going to get. The last thing I'm going to do is slap some True Oil on it, and then I think it'll be time to put this thing back together and tune it all up. Well, the True Oil is taking the stain off. I mean, it kind of stained and it kind of didn't. But I suppose we knew that was going to happen. You use cheap stain, you get cheap results. I should have got on to Stuart McDonald and ordered real musical instrument stain.